Every empire reaches a moment when it must choose between truth and terror. Iran has reached that moment. What you are watching is not chaos, not rebellion, not foreign manipulation. It is the ancient sound of false gods being dragged into daylight. There is nothing more comforting than a ruler who claims inevitability. When power wraps itself in prophecy, it stops asking permission. It no longer governs by consent, but by destiny. This is how regimes survive long after they have rotted, by convincing their people that resistance is not merely illegal, but meaningless. For nearly half a century, the Islamic Republic of Iran has spoken in this tone, not as a government among governments, but as a custodian of the end of days. Its leaders did not simply rule. They announced themselves as necessary. They claimed history itself was leaning in their direction. This is the comfortable lie. It says suffering is sacred. It says obedience is wisdom. It says tomorrow belongs to God, and therefore today belongs to them. The clerics preached that Iran was chosen to prepare the world for divine intervention. The Revolutionary Guards enforced that vision with prisons, ropes, bullets, and fear. And the people were told that every act of brutality was a brick in the road to redemption. But Scripture has never been kind to men who confuse terror with holiness. The Bible does not describe the end of the world as a triumph of tyrants. It describes the exposure of them. The book of Daniel tells us, "He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. But the court shall sit in judgment, and his dominion shall be taken away, to be consumed and destroyed to the end." This is not poetic metaphor. It is a pattern. Empires that declare themselves sacred always begin by promising order. They always end by devouring their own people. Iran has reached that moment. Right now, the streets are no longer quiet. Women cut their hair. Men tear down banners. Students chant freedom while knowing the price may be death. This is not chaos. This is judgment in motion. The regime says these uprisings are foreign plots, moral decay, spiritual warfare. But the Bible gives a different explanation. In the book of Ezekiel, God speaks of rulers who rule with force and cruelty, who feed themselves instead of the flock, and he says plainly, "I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand." Notice what comes first. Not invasion, not fire from the sky. Accountability. God does not begin judgment with thunder. He begins it by removing fear. That is what is happening now. The fear that once paralyzed the streets is breaking. And when fear breaks, gods begin to bleed. The Islamic Republic built its authority on inevitability. It said resistance was useless. It said history was already written. It said the IRGC was untouchable. But the Bible warns rulers who believe this lie. The prophet Jeremiah declared, "Do not trust in deceptive words and say, 'This is the temple of the Lord.' If you do not act justly, then I will let you live in this place. But if not, I will make this house a den of robbers." Sacred language does not protect unjust power. It accelerates its exposure. The IRGC presents itself as invincible. But Scripture tells us exactly how invincibility ends. Psalm 82 says, "I said, 'You are gods, sons of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, you shall die like men and fall like any prince.'" This is the stripping of the clothes, the moment when authority loses its costume, the moment when titles dissolve and only flesh remains. That is what the uprising is doing. It is not merely protesting policy. It is unmasking divinity claims. Women standing unarmed before rifles are not rejecting religion. They are rejecting idolatry. The Bible consistently sides with this act. When Moses confronted Pharaoh, the issue was not economics. It was not ethnicity. It was a question of gods. "Who is the Lord that I should obey him?" Pharaoh asked. Every plague that followed was an answer. God did not destroy Egypt to prove strength. He dismantled its divine illusions one by one, and he always does it the same way. First, the people stop believing the lie. Then the enforcers overreach. Then the system eats itself. Iran is in this phase now. The IRGC has become what all sacred enforcers become: desperate. Arrests increase, executions accelerate, language hardens. This too is biblical. Ecclesiastes tells us, because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed speedily, the heart of the children of man is fully set to do evil. When judgment finally begins, it feels sudden, but it has been accumulating for decades. Now, does this relate to the end times? Yes, but not the way tyrants teach it. Biblically, the end times are not about rulers winning. They are about rulers being revealed. Revelation does not glorify empire. It exposes it. Babylon falls not because it lacked power, but because it was drunk on it. She glorified herself and lived in luxury, the text says. Therefore her plagues will come in a single day. Babylon is not a nation, it is a system. Any structure that deifies itself, persecutes truth, and demands worship through fear is standing on borrowed time. Iran's leadership believes chaos proves prophecy. The Bible says chaos proves collapse. Jesus himself warned, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come." The end is not noise, the end is exposure. What we are witnessing in Iran is not Armageddon, it is demystification. The gods are being dragged into daylight. The people are discovering that authority bleeds, that uniforms do not stop bullets forever. That history is not owned by clerics. And here is the most dangerous truth of all. Once people realize they are not waiting for salvation, they stop asking permission to be free. The Bible calls this moment birth pains. Painful, yes, but necessary. Isaiah wrote, "We have been with child, we have been in pain. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. We have not accomplished deliverance in the earth." Until now. The uprising is not the end of Iran. It is the end of the lie that Iran belongs to its jailers. The human miracle is not divine violence. It is human courage aligned with truth. When fear collapses, prophecy moves. Not because God intervenes like a magician, but because false gods lose their audience. And when that happens, no regime survives. Not Pharaoh, not Babylon, not Rome, not this one. The end times are not about waiting. They are about watching idols fall. And right now in Iran, they are falling in the streets. If this unmasking resonates with you, stay here. Subscribe. Share this with someone who still believes power is sacred. And if you've ever felt the moment when an institution's costume slipped and you could no longer unsee it, say it out loud in the comments. Unmasking the Gods isn't about telling you what to think. It's about learning how to see.